When the next charter commission is convened in the future, what issues should be included and discussed?
Well, first and foremost, I think the percentage that allows the vote to go through, the 15%. I think we need to look at that. I also think that we need to look at the makeup of the whole charter. People come before us and discuss, things that they feel need to be changed. And again, the main thing is the percentage. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Alper.
So the previous Charter Commission, as town chair, there were a lot of members on that commission that I helped to seat on that. And so I have a little bit more intimate knowledge than maybe perhaps some of my colleagues up here. And they did yeoman's work, terrific work. I think that by and large it is an excellent document. The one piece of the document that I would like to see revisited, and we talked about this on the Board of Finance on a number of occasions when I was on it, was the ability of the Board of Selectmen to have some sway over the budget deliberations based on the votes for the Board of Finance. I think the purview of the Board of Finance, as far as I'm concerned, is sacrosanct, because we are the watchguards for the taxpayer. The responsibility of the Board of Selectmen is to deliver services to the townspeople, all townspeople. The responsibility of the Board of Education is to deliver services to families with children and produce a good education. Our 3 children went through the school system, an outstanding education they got. But the Board of Finance has a very specific, very unique responsibility in looking out for the taxpayer and making decisions about what we can afford. And I think the charter gave some of that away, and I would like that to be reviewed again.
Thank you. Ms. McFadden.
Thank you. I think that this is going to come in the next term of the Board of Selectmen. We're seeking a 4-year term, and in the next 4 years, I see that we will likely have charter revision. And the issues are whether the 15% threshold continues to be appropriate, and the form of government that we have. The other thing is a clarification of the roles between our various boards and committees. There's been some question, particularly between Board of Finance and Board of Selectmen on some things. I think that there needs to be just a relook. The thing is, when you open a charter, the Board of Selectmen will give a charge as to some direction, but once it's opened, the members who sit on that charter commission can do anything they want. And they can bring up something that we never even thought of. They can throw in, the kitchen sink. And so it's going to be very interesting when we do open the charter. And as our community has changed and technology has changed and things have advanced, they may come up with something that none of us up here have ever thought of, but it'll be exciting to see what happens.
Mr. Cole.
I think it's important, every few years that we look at the charter. It should be an evolving document. It should not be something that's static, and it should fit, with the needs and desires of our community. And, I touched a little bit earlier about, the thoughts on the rule that allows the budget to vote, or I'm sorry, the budget to pass automatically of less than 15% turnout. That's one of the things, I'd like to look at changing. And, another thing that is very important to me is accountability. We have some boards and commissions in our town that, are doing a significant amount of work. One example is the Water Pollution Control Authority. I'd like to investigate making that an elected position, so that people that are on that board, are accountable to the voters for decisions that they make. They do a great job, and we're all public servants, and at the end of the day we work for you. So that's one other thing I would like to look into is some of our other boards and commissions that are appointed, look into having those elected positions.
Thank you. Ms. Bufano, would you care to rebut? You have
No.
30 seconds.
No, thank you.
Mr. Alper?
Yes, I would. I know you're shocked. I just want to speak to the 15% for a moment. So 15%, that may or may not be a high number. And I've heard people argue for one man, one vote. I'd like to remind people that in pure democracy, the choice of dinner between 3 foxes and a chicken is predetermined. And so you need some threshold to protect people who can't make it to the polls.
Thank you. Ms. McFadden?
One other thing that could be considered with the charter is what positions are appointed versus elected. A number of years ago, we had a vote in Wilton to change the police commissioners to an elected position. And it was very close. I think there were only 34 votes that determined it would stay appointed. But in other communities, as an example, fire and police commissioners are an elected position. And it varies from community to community. And so that would be another area to look at.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cole?
I'm okay.